One day I'll get my life together. I really thought I had my life together. Now I don't believe I do anymore. All because of this.
All because of this?
All because of this. Try to get my kids baths. Now 30 minutes late to the pod. It's the worst.
Good, brother. Just in time for episode 19.
The very handsome, as we were saying before, the very handsome Miles Austin.
Miles Austin. Not Tavon Austin, even though he's a guy with like the incredible highlight reel, right? West Virginia.
He was a player I thought was going to make it in the pros, but I was,
Yeah, he just didn't make it. But what's on the docket for today, man? What we got?
Well, we got game one, Mavs and OKC. And I think we also got to cover the end of the Clippers series because I don't think we covered that, did we?
We didn't. We should talk about that.
Yeah, Pacers, Knicks, just the rest of the playoffs. The shocking demise of the Nuggets. I believe the Nougats, I'll call them. Some
Nuggets.
hockey, some Champions League, some history, and some dating.
Dating 101.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you a question. Kim Kardashian or Little Kim?
I'm going to go Kim K.
Oh, okay.
Even though she got a pretty good, she got booed the other night. You see that clip from the Brady roast? Which there was a lot of funny stuff there.
I know. A lot of people have already dug into that.
Whew. Yeah, we don't have to cover that. But that was, I guess, roaster back. So,
yeah, and I'm for it. I'm pro roast. There was a lot of divorce jokes, so I think Giselle was really mad about it. But
I'm sure, They didn't hold anything back. We'll say it like that.
They did not. I enjoyed what was the one line that Tom Brady said is like, Philly fans are super racist, but Kevin Hart's from Philly, so, I get it. I was like, golly.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I was like, dude.
He probably deserves it. Starting with the Mavs, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you said we should talk about the Clipper series a little bit because after game one OKC, I didn't feel this way as much. But I had this thought come to mind after they closed out the Clippers and Kyrie hit that three in the corner. Shake and bake, falls down, cans a three. Daniel Gafford has the kind of goofy look on his eyes. Yeah, just being funny with it. I asked myself, I think we've discussed this before. Is this 2016 Kyrie?
Is he back, huh?
Is he back?
So what did Kyrie do in 2016? Like, can we refresh my memory on that?
Yeah, so I started digging into his playoff career a little bit. And he has only played, I think he's been in the league for 14 years. And he's played in 7 different playoff series.
That's it? And 7 series?
Yeah. No, sorry, 7 different seasons.
Oh, okay.
So never played in a playoff series until LeBron came back to Cleveland. And then he had the 3 years in Cleveland. Maybe my favorite version of Kyrie was game 1 of the NBA Finals 2015. Before he got hurt, he was checking Curry. I mean, he was essentially playing like 2016 Kyrie. He just got injured. That was the whole thing, like, because then it's LeBron and Dellavedova, and then who's the big, not Zubac, what was the big white guy's name?
Oh, not Timothy Mozgov, was it?
Yeah, that's him right there.
It was Timothy Mozgov, but it's like Timothy with an F.
That's why I was like,
Timothy.
But yeah, anyways. 2015, 2016, Kyrie goes off. 2017, he also goes off, but that was against the KD Warriors. So they didn't have a chance. He had one playoff run in Boston, which ended up being trash. He had the 1 year 20 and 21 in Brooklyn. He ends up getting hurt. That's when KD had the 50-piece against the Bucks. And then the next
toe on the line.
Yeah, that was toe on the line year, but Kyrie was out for the rest of the playoffs. And then his last year with the Nets, they got swept 4-0 by Boston. So
was he even playing? He was not even playing that year that much, was he?
He was playing. Him and KD got swept.
Okay.
Because that was the year before the playoffs before last year when it all got broken up. But this is kind of the first opportunity he's had to look this good since then. Mm-hmm. And his stats, I mean, he's right there. He's averaging 25.6. 2016, he averaged 25.2. Every other year, he had about 21, 22 points per game. He's got his kind of version of LeBron with Luka now.
Right.
And he's a smarter, more mature player with the same skill set.
Yeah, and I wanted to kind of tack on to that. I've noticed, and I'm sure you've noticed too, how he leads the team in fourth quarter scoring. So he kind of holds it back the first two quarters, really. Third quarter, he starts to pick it up from Luka. As Luka, starts to get worn down. And then, while the other team's tired, he's taking over. And the other thing I noticed that I really liked was that defensively, and I saw this in game one too, but really in the other games, defensively, and he is up on players. He is working on the defensive end, which I don't really remember seeing that too much in the past. Not this level of effort. So he's really stepped it up this playoffs, and I think he's the key to the Mavs because Luka. And they crushed the Clippers. They buried those demons.
Dang
but
right.
Luka did not shoot well. There's something wrong with his knee. He's got he's bricking threes. Like he shot 20%.
I was looking at that.
3 or 4 games.
He's at 22% in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's a 30. He's like a 35% shooter in the regular season. He's not great, but he's not bad. And this is bad. So there's something he's got no legs right now. So he's like Lieutenant Dan out there shooting with no legs.
Yeah, that's what I can't tell. So is he hurt or is he not? Lieutenant Dan,
Lieutenant Dan lost both his legs in Vietnam, so I think he was out for the season.
He's still like that.
He got asked the other day, and he said if this was a regular season game, he would have sat out. But he's like, I'm not sitting this out.
Right.
So he's fine. He's fine enough to play. I also liked the fact that he said, I need to do more to help Kyrie. So it seems like he's taken a lot more responsibility on. So overall, the Mavs looked really good to close out the Clippers.
Absolutely. I was impressed. I loved it. And they got the Clippers to submit, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Submit to defeat.
That's the end of the LeBron, Harden, Westbrook, Paul George, KD era. It's done.
Golly.
Kyrie's the last one holding on, but he's the second guy.
Yeah.
That's number 2.
He's 4 or 5 years younger than that group. Whew. I think the thing that's been interesting is, and you ready to transition to OKC?
Absolutely.
These younger, I feel like this whole playoffs is a little different, at least on the West. It's like these younger, more athletic, more energetic teams, i.e. the Wolves and the Thunder, who we both thought were going to get beat in the first round prior to the playoffs starting. I mean, they're showing that, hey, we can win in the regular season, and that translates to the playoffs. And that was what game 1 last night was. I mean, we just got outran, and essentially they look like they had more energy than we did. I mean, there's a lot of other thoughts I have on it, but that was my initial thought was like, man, they look like they can just run circles around us.
Yeah, I think so. Part of it, I think, is the Mavs came off a really grueling 6-game series, whereas the Thunder swept and took care of business really fast.
And they played the Pelicans.
And they
with
played
no Zion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I agree with you. And something I heard the other day, I'm trying to confirm it to be true there are, I think they said 8 teams in the luxury tax. And there's only like 2 left in the playoffs. So the Heat were in the luxury tax, the Bucks were in the luxury tax, the Suns were in the luxury tax, the Lakers were in the luxury tax, the Clippers, the Warriors, and the Nuggets and the Celtics. And only two that are left are the Nuggets and the Celtics, and the Nuggets look on the ropes. So this idea of adding these superstars in, it's kind of done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's kind of like, the Suns are the worst example of it, of putting just star names together that don't mesh.
Right.
And they're building a team now. Whether or not, I mean, they've got enough talent on the Thunder that they'll be in the luxury tax here pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, it's a team basketball. I was very impressed with so basically from minute one, really from the first quarter onward.
Yeah,
the first quarter was even. After that, the Thunder were the better team, and there's just more.
Pants or butts.
There's no more analysis really needed. You're like, that team's better.
Yeah, that was. I'm trying to think of the biggest takeaways. I was looking at some notes I took. So they look like, at least in the second quarter, they were Josh Giddey in particular. Mm-hmm. He was getting so far, like he was getting right to the rack. And so was Shea, who I felt like he was getting a lot of favorable calls, though. Like, there was a lot of Twitter discourse from, like, the Mavs fans for life, like, saying the refs were on their side. He was getting a lot of calls that the Mavericks weren't getting. But all in all, like, they were just penetrating the lane, like, getting to the rack. I was like, man, we can't keep them out of the paint. No. And then third quarter, once we kind of made a little bit of a comeback, at one point, there was like a 1 point differential. Then they just started spraying from the 3-point line. And when you have, who's the big 7-foot guy?
Chet.
When you got Chet draining threes and, everybody on their team essentially can hit a bucket, can dribble, can pass. It's like they have different size guys, but they're all like, it's positionless basketball at the same time.
That's what I was going to add in. They do a really interesting job of Chet will camp on the 3 a lot to drag the center out. Mm-hmm. And so then you're able to penetrate, unless you're going to put a shorter person on Chet, in which case he's going to spray threes. It does have disadvantages, as I think they ranked like 26th in offensive rebounds. So they don't rebound the ball because they're spreading the floor so well. But when you're scoring that well, it doesn't matter. I would like to officially announce that I'm the founding member of the I Hate SGA Club.
Okay.
Because there's 2 things that are really bothering me.
Got it.
Number 1 is the What a Star Wants commercial. I think that needs to burn. I think that needs to burn in hell.
Yeah, I threw up in my mouth the first time I watched it.
And then it's on every time, along with the No Flex Zone commertional. There's like 2 commercials that play every time, and it's driving me insane. I'm like, mute. Yeah. Secondly, he is the new James Harden. He's hunting fouls and he's getting the calls. Yeah, now, he's not as annoying yet. Like, we'll see if he gets fat and obnoxious.
He's Canadian, so
yeah, that's another thing against him.
There's levels to it.
But yeah, like 14 free throws and a few calls. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I hadn't watched him play a whole lot throughout the year. And the other piece, he also, I don't know if you just saw the MVP stuff.
No, I didn't.
Jokic just won. This is about 15 minutes ago.
Oh.
And SGA got second. Luka got third.
Ooh. Okay.
So that gives, I'm just kind of putting some fuel on your fire there. But
Luka, by the way, and SGA averaged about the same amount of free throw attempts during the regular season the last 3 years. So I know Luka hunts fouls too, but he's my guy, and I'm biased.
Yeah,
I'm wearing the I Hate SGA shirt.
2 more things from the game. One thing that bothered me, and one thing I think that could separate us. One thing that bothered me was Gafford was like 5 for 14, and I love him. I love the roll into the rim. He had like 4 or 5 possessions where they got him the ball like 2 to 3 steps further away from the goal than he'd usually be. Mm-hmm. And he kind of just like threw something off the back of the rim. Was trying to do too much, but it was like 4 or 5 possessions that like essentially we just wasted. I was like, man, we got to have him shooting 75, 80%. That's when he's, we're at our best. But the separator I think the guy we need, and I said this, I think previously too, is we need Tim Hardaway Jr. Like, if you're going to have a guy, he just doesn't have legs yet. He finally came back and played, but I don't think he had that many points, maybe like 2 or 3 points.
It was bad.
But we got to have him scoring 15, 16. He can be that energy burst to come like counter those guys off the bench.
Yeah, so we lost Maxey for the rest of the rest of the playoffs. So you're lacking a pretty good shooter. And yeah, we need. Right. I agree with you. He's the guy that I think, if the Mavericks do pull it off, I think he'll be the one that makes the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot,
Derek Jones Jr.
I'm sorry,
is also an insane athlete. No, you're good. What'd you think? What's your pick
right now? I said Mavs in 6 initially, and I think I'm wrong, but I already said it, so
I'm gonna do what I did last time, and I'm gonna take the field, and I'm gonna take the field because I feel like I can't pick them.
The Thunder.
I didn't pick. I can't pick either one. I kind of get. Last time it was the one series I didn't pick, but I said I thought the Clippers were gonna win. After the game 1, I think OKC is going to win, and I'm shocked. But we'll see what happens as the series develops.
Yeah, we'll see what adjustments are made, because that's you can almost write off one game like, okay, so let's see where the rest of this goes. So, but yeah, they were better. So what about the rest of the NBA? Did you catch any of the other games this week?
Yeah, I caught the fourth quarter of the Pacers-Knicks, but I tried to I went back and watched both of the Nuggets-Wolves games, actually. I got home late. I played golf Saturday.
How'd you do?
Got home late Saturday we didn't actually keep score. I thought we were going to play 9, and we ended up playing 18.
Oh, wow. There you go.
So it was kind of one of those, like, getting out there and played till 8:30, 9 o'clock. But got home, watched the Nuggets-Wolves. That's insane, and it's kind of a pour over from the first series against the Suns. It could be the same, that the Wolves are still fresh, but dog, their defense, I mean, it is locked down. It's an electric series. It's a step above talent wise the Mavs and the OKC series.
Yeah,
and my biggest take is, or the question I have is, did the Nuggets did they just run out of gas from the last 2 years? Because the amount of mental effort and energy it takes to repeat, there's not many who can do it.
They went to the Western Conference Finals before that, right?
I think that was in 22.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been pretty close the last 3 or 4 years, but
yeah, they won last year, obviously. Then they were first round the year before, second round conference finals. Yeah, so they've been a couple rounds deep almost every year. Yeah, what got me, I was so surprised. So first of all, a little rewind on the T-Wolves. I thought they made, and I think a lot of people agreed, a horrible trade when they traded for Gobert, because they basically traded 5 first-round draft picks for that guy. Yeah, that was getting run off the floor in Utah against the Mavericks a couple years ago. I was like,
nobody thought that was a good trade.
No, and now I'm like, son of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a good trade, because they go from a non-playoff team and a horrible defense and a play-in team last year with a mediocre defense, and they've got it locked in now. And I tell you what, because when Cat is defending well, because he's never for me been that good of a defender,
right?
Like he's more of an offensive player. Man, they like, you were right. They're a bunch of dogs, and they're up in their face, and they're making them work. And the Nuggets spent probably like 75% of the Lakers series trailing. The Lakers were up every game by double digits, if I remember. Basically every game.
Yeah, there was some insane percentages out there. It was like they were only leading 14% of the time, or something like that. Something of that
crazy.
Value. Yeah.
But they knew they were the better team, and just keep working your offense and you'll get it back eventually. And they did virtually every game. But this is a different animal. This Minnesota team is shockingly good, and they have tightened the screws down, especially after the All-Star break when the NBA decided to let teams play defense again. Like they're like, let's go. And I don't know how this series goes to 6 at this point. Like I picked the Nuggets to win initially, but man, they slapped them twice.
And now they're going back to Minnesota. It's like,
yeah,
dude, they may sweep these guys.
I would not be surprised at this point if it was a sweep.
You sweep. Steph Curry. Yeah, I mean that kind of beats goes with my theory with the Nuggets. I watched them bits and pieces throughout the regular season this year, and it's like every game looked the same. Like they kind of be lollygagging. It looked like the Lakers series, and then they're down by 8 to 10 points, and then there's 4 minutes left, and then they just like turn it on. But you can like literally watch their like mental energy just go into overdrive, and then they win the game. But it's like, man, if you're getting knocked around for 3 quarters, I don't know if they have that juice left.
No.
And Ant is kind of like matching their intensity. He had the quote about like their punch. Did you see that?
No, what did he say?
He was like, our coach was telling us like they're going to come out and punch you in the mouth, and he's like, and I told him, I was like, we're going to punch him back.
Do you think he's Michael Jordan's kid?
I saw that theory from your brother. I looked some stuff up. No, I think his biological parents are actually posted somewhere. But he did have like an interesting upbringing. I think his father was out of the picture or something, and then his mom passed away when he was younger. So maybe he was raised by like his grandma or something. So
interesting.
He's a dog, man.
Here's his playoff game 1 against the Suns, 13, then 33, 15, 36, 40, 43, 27. So yeah, I tell you what, did not recognize how good he was. I thought he averaged 26 this year, and he averaged 24.5 last year and 21. But I kind of thought it was like the Kevin Love thing where someone has to score. You know what I mean? Like you don't think he's that good because he's just a good player on a bad team. But man, I'll write him an apology. There's no way. I don't think there's any way they're going to win the title this year. But
I don't think so either. The one thing that bothered me is, hear me out here. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree.
It's workshopping.
I would say, let's say 2 years ago, Luka was 23. They're like, this is one of the greatest like performances by somebody this age. I'm like, man, I feel like Luka he was just as good 2 or 3 years ago in his first couple playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to beat the Clippers, one of those series, it's same kind of conversation. Essentially, what I'm getting at is Ant versus Luka as the next Jordan.
Oh, there we go.
And I think I've always I think Luka has the ability to be that guy. He needed a Pippen, and I always said that. Now he's got his Pippen and Kyrie. So
LeBron needed help. Michael needed help. Everyone needs help to win.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say about Pacers-Knicks is that's the second time the Knicks have gotten a questionable call in the last couple minutes to win them a game. Yeah. I'm not saying the NBA wants the biggest market in the world to be in the conference finals against one of the other biggest franchises in the Celtics, but it sure would be convenient.
Jalen gets a lot of foul calls. I will say this though as well. I watched the fourth quarter of that game. I mean, the Knicks, they took over in the fourth quarter, and Halliburton kind of disappeared with the Pacers.
Yeah.
But I still think, kind of going back to what you were saying with the teams, like the Pacers are probably the better team, and I'm waiting on the Knicks to run out of gas because they're playing 6 guys for 48 minutes,
right?
Essentially. You know what I mean? The 3 Villanova guys and then the 3 other guys. It's like eventually they're probably going to run out of gas. I'm kind of going towards the Pacers to win the series. You got the Knicks in 5.
I did have the Knicks in 5. Now, Jalen Brunson is out tonight. So that changes some things. Sore foot. So
he's been kicking all that ass.
That's right. Because I was going to say he played 8 minutes. And I'm like, we're almost at halftime. The Pacers are up 67-58 with 2 minutes left. And he's only played 8 minutes. And I was like, what the heck? And
wait, so he's out the rest of the game, but he started tonight?
I think so, because it said, I'm reading on Twitter, X, sitting out game 2 with a sore foot, blah, 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 with Jalen Brunson out. Yeah, so it looks like he might be out the rest of the game, might have hurt his foot. So that'd be interesting. Now since I've started talking, they've climbed back and it's 67-61, but yeah, that'll be, I think the Knicks will win this one, assuming Jalen's healthy, but that'll change some things. And I did not watch the Celtics Cleveland. I think the Celtics will stomp them 4-5.
Yeah, they beat them by 20 or something like that. And
without
the only funny part about seeing Cleveland in the playoffs is it's like, hey, they won a series without LeBron. I wish that would have been a heck of a parlay. When does Cleveland win a series and LeBron is no longer in the playoffs? Cleveland outlasts LeBron in the playoffs.
Let's go.
But I think Boston's going to take it out on them because of all the LeBron years. They're like, it's payback time.
We're going to go ahead and take care of that.
We're done with you guys.
We'll see you later. Well, that's enough basketball. Let me show you a little something here. This is the Vegas-Dallas series. Big hit, followed by destruction. Boom!
Boom!
So
hopefully it goes off.
Yeah, I was gonna say I clicked the button to turn it to preview after this. So
hilarious.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Edit this out. But yeah, that's how the series went. Is Dallas lost the first 2 games. I was crying a lot. And then we won the next 3. Then game 6 was a close one, but Vegas won. And then game 7, Dallas, it was incredible. The Knights, so Jack Eichel's a player on the Golden Knights who's the only real player like I feared. And he had a wide open net and he missed. And then we go down and score, what ended up being the winner. And it's like, golly, how the heck did that happen? Because I think Dallas was a superior team. But hockey, more than other sports, you can have a good system and a great goalie, or like a hot goalie, and it works out for you. So super stoked about that. Was riding on cloud 9. And I would like to say this, NHL, you don't want fans. Like, I don't think you like your fans. So I have these memories growing up. Of watching hockey with my dad before going to bed. And we were in St. Louis. They had Brett Hull at the time. This is before they traded Brendan Shanahan, and I hate the Blues because of this. But I remember these, and I love hockey to this day because I got to watch the games with my dad before going to bed.
Right.
All these games start at freaking 8:30 start, and then they don't actually start till 9. And so my kids were asking me the last 3 nights, because they actually played a realistic game at 6:30 for game 7, and we watched the first 2 periods before putting them to bed. And for the last 3 nights, they've been asking me, can we watch more hockey? Can we watch more hockey? And it's like, no, because the stinking NHL starts your games at 9 when you've been in bed for an hour.
NHL, listen.
Like, we're the 1 seed. Number 1. Like, you do it for TV, but I don't watch the Rangers and the Hurricanes. People don't care about the national. They care about the local. Like, put the games on freaking primetime.
Boom.
Okay, sorry. Not that sorry. Because now I'm going to have my kids watch basketball instead. Is that what you want? They're going to be 5'8" and white.
Yeah, my kids are going to be 5'9". I'm like, good luck, buddy.
Come on, man.
You're going to be a fullback or you're going to be in construction.
That's right. But the other thing was the Stars. Then we played the Avalanche, and if I were to power rank like the teams I hate the most in the world, the Avalanche are like right there, number 1. They're like 1A. I hate them. Barcelona, the Eagles, the 49ers, and Florida State football. I thought about this earlier. Those are my top 5.
Got it.
But we beat them in the 90s, but then they won more Stanley Cups. It was really frustrating. And they also got all the love from the national pundits, so that was annoying. The thing about it, though, they took care of business. So somehow they were the lower seed, but they got a better matchup in the playoffs. It's just the luck of the draw. And they got their games done in 5. So they had 5 days rest. We had 1 day rest. And after a grueling 7-game series. Now we get up 3-0 in the first, and I'm like, okay, the problem. Every team that scored first in the regular season in this matchup lost.
That's crazy.
The Stars one time were up 5-1, and then by midway through the third, it was 5-4, and we're just hanging on for dear life. So, like, you got to score 4 or 5 to win against this team. The Stars are a better team, but the Avalanche have a superior top line. And that top line, because they had 5 days off, played like 30 minutes last night, and they eventually cooked us. And we lost 4-3 in overtime. So
Because we were up 3-0 by the second period?
Into the first, we were up 3-0, and we almost made it 4, but they cleared one off the line. And I was like, I think we're going to need that one. And then we took a couple penalties, and the tired legs kicked in, and they scored a minute into the third period to tie it. And I was like, oh, Lord. Well, I'm going to bed.
Gosh.
And we ended up losing in overtime. But it's the life of the sports fan, man, because it's, you go from jubilation in Game 6 for the Mavs and Game 7 for the Stars to utter despair for the Game 1s. And then it's just all over the place. Like, I love sports.
It'll probably bounce back.
Yeah, well, if we take Game 2, and I'm going to Game 2 tomorrow. Shout out Matt.
Nice. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, shout out Matt for getting the group together. Like, hey, let's go. And I was like, yeah, sounds good.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So thank you, Matt, for putting that together. He's not paying for my ticket, but thank you for putting it together.
Who's Matt?
He's a guy at church. He's Canadian. That's why I was nice to Canadians earlier.
Cool. Thanks, Matt. Hey, appreciate
he's like, we should go to a game. And I said, yeah. And normally when people say that, they're just like, yeah, we should go. Like, yeah, sounds good. And he's like, all right, Game 2, here's some seats. What do you think? And I'm like, let's do it. Done. So shout out there. And then I wanted to transit. The only other hockey thing is the New York Rangers are winning. So that's fun for the league because I always like it when classic teams win. Should be a Boston, New York conference final in the East, and that'll be exciting. And then there's all sorts of fun stuff in sports. This is my favorite time of year because Real Madrid played in the Champions League. And I text my brother because yesterday Paris lost and they were down in the 88th minute. And I texted him, I said, if Real Madrid needs 2 goals in the 88th minute, I'm not worried. And sure enough, this week, Real Madrid's down. They need 2 goals to win, 88 minutes out of 90. And by the 91st minute, they're up 1. It was crazy.
I didn't realize they were playing Real because my brother texted me. He was going for Mbappe.
PSG was playing Borussia Dortmund from Germany. But this other game, I was texting my brother yesterday about that. Real played Bayern Munich today.
But PSG lost, right? So they're out. Yeah.
Yep. The Ninja Turtle, Mbappe.
My man. Yeah, that's my brother's favorite player. He was texting me about it. I was like, yeah, cool.
He'll go to Real Madrid next year, and your brother and I. You should cheer for Real Madrid because it's like a Hallmark movie. Starts off good. They start losing. You think it's over. They overcome adversity. They're all good guys. They win late. Yeah. It's great.
I mean, Luka played there, the basketball team.
I have his jersey.
Yeah.
That's when I started watching. Yeah. I didn't think it'd be this good. But yeah, that's my sports roller coaster and why I love sports. It's like, yes! Awesome. Come on! Suck a duck! Oh my gosh, we did it!
It's and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the motorboat. Oh my gosh, that was a pretty good duck.
Thank you. I have young kids, so I practice a lot.
And this week for Last Week in History.
Well, welcome to May.
It's gonna be May.
That's right, Justin Timberlake. After all the Britney Spears stuff, do you think he's gonna survive?
I think he'll be all right.
You think he'll make it?
He'll come out on the other side. Wait, is there something new coming up? Or are you talking about old school stuff?
Oh, just the Britney stuff.
Back when they were dating and then she cheated on him with Kevin Federline?
Oh, no. It was like all the free Britney stuff. I don't know. But, yeah, so last week in history, excuse me. So we are in the month of May. It's a good time to be alive in general, but also specifically today. And on May 1st, in 1941, Citizen Kane was released. You ever seen that movie?
Crap. I have not. Is that the one with Kane in it?
Who's a citizen?
Citizen Kane.
So widely regarded as one of the greatest movies ever. And then there's like this thing where he calls out to Rosebud, and it's like a who's Rosebud that they try to find out. So that's kind of like the mystery in the movie.
Which one of y'all is Rosebud?
That's right. Rosebud.
I remember Rosebud. There was a cheat code. Did you ever play the Sims game?
No.
When we got a gateway computer back in probably like 98, it came with the original Sims game for the computer, and you could put a cheat code in up top, and it was Rosebud something, and you could just click it and get unlimited money.
Oh, nice.
It taught you that in life there's cheat codes, but in life there's really not cheat codes. So
disappointing.
Yeah, you gotta learn the hard way. Should have made you get a job on there.
Get a job, you slob. On May 2nd, Loch Ness Monster was sighted for the first time in, I forgot to write down the year, Igniting the Legend, 1933.
It's in Dublin, right? Or Ireland?
Scotland. I have a friend from Loch Ness, and she's like, I must say that he's real by law.
Wow.
She was joking about it. She's like, I have to say because we got to keep the tourists coming.
What did it look like?
Oh, I have the picture right here. So that's the picture, the famous picture of the Loch Ness Monster.
Little dinosaur poking its head out.
Yep. That's the one. Yep. In 2011, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson announced, got some big news coming. And turns out Osama bin Laden had been killed. Somehow Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson knew before everyone else.
He dropped it on Twitter or what?
He did. Let me see
what in the world?
Yeah, so I'm guessing, I think
he's for sure Illuminati.
I think he's like friends with a bunch of like military guys, and I guess someone was like, they must have had his number or something, and he tweeted, "Just got word that will shock the world. Land of the free, home of the brave. Damn proud to be an American." And he did that like before. I wonder if Obama knew before The Rock. Like you're like, oh my gosh, we just got bin Laden. Let's text The Rock first. Yeah. Text The Rock.
Yeah, he could have been like, man, just texting with a couple of the guys there. I'm sure it was a few-day mission.
Oh, yeah, they had to be hunting.
Insane that he had intel that was like, hey, dude, it's going down.
we getting Osama.
Hey, bro, let The Rock know what's up. We just got this guy.
Send him the pic.
I think about that sometimes. Like, they have the movies and stuff, but they talk about, like, we maybe can't talk about it on here. I'm sure they just obliterated everybody in that house. Like, they're like, all they took out was Osama, and everyone else was safe. He was the one in the house, right? It was Saddam Hussein in the bunker?
Correct. That's how I remember it.
Okay. No telling.
Yeah. So, big fan of us getting Osama. 7 years ago, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat-trick in the Champions League and gave us the coldest picture in history with this. Look at that man.
Oh, that one?
Noodle hair Ronaldo.
Beast.
Just adoring him. His fans adoring him all over the place.
Couldn't ask for a better guy.
So
you couldn't
freaking
ask
dominant.
For a better picturesque. He looks like a statue.
Yeah, he's like a freaking Greek god. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. He's a Greek god back in real life.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
May 3rd, my sister Anna was born. So congrats to the world for that.
Happy birthday, Anna.
Mm-hmm. May 4th, my celebrity crush, Margaret Thatcher, became the first female prime minister of Britain.
Is that really your celebrity crush?
That's when it's the thing I can say safely without offending anybody.
Gotcha.
Who's your celebrity crush? Margaret Thatcher.
And they're like, beautiful. Yeah.
I like a strong woman. Dang it.
Inside and out. Beautiful.
May the 5th, overrated ice cream, Ben & Jerry opens its first ice cream shop in 1978.
Hot topic. I would agree with you.
Overrated.
100%.
If it was $3 instead of $7, I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty good ice cream. But
Bluebell's better.
Bluebell's better.
I like Brahms too.
Oh, Brahms is clutch. Shout out to Brahms, our future sponsor. Please.
Yeah, Brahms. Thanks. Let's get some sundaes.
Their milk's great too.
I wasn't never big on it, but when I was living at the treehouse, me and Connie would go to Brahms every now and then. Me, Connie, and Witten would go pop in there.
Go ice cream sundae.
Yeah, get a couple ice cream sundaes on Sunday night. Something like that. Just
Sunday
something light
on a Sunday.
Just a little something light.
2002 on May the 5th, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man debuted, making the first. It was the first $100 million box office opening weekend. Do you think that movie holds up?
It does to me because I think I stopped watching them after that one.
This was your last superhero movie. It was 2002. You're like, I'm good.
Oh, Spider-Man's in particular, because now I'm like, how many are there? Like 12, and there's like 4 or 5 different Spider-Mans. I'm like, Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man.
That's right.
So, I don't know if the whole film still holds up. Who's the redheaded girl in there? She's very pretty.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, she still holds up. So, some people are saying that.
I loved that movie. I loved Spider-Man 2. And everyone hated Spider-Man 3, but I actually enjoyed it.
Was that with the guy from The Social Network?
I think so, but I don't really remember a lot about it. I just remember watching it and going, that wasn't that bad. It definitely wasn't as good. Then everyone destroyed it. And like, this movie sucked. I was like, okay.
I mean, I'm not big on any of those superhero or like, I don't get big into the Marvel stuff. Like some people are so deep into the Marvel universe.
Too much, so.
I don't think it's that marvelous. I'd rather watch Shrek and then the same 5 movies I've watched my whole life. So, Remember the Titans, Shawshank Redemption, Shrek, Lion King, and Sound of Music.
Oh, Mufasa, Mufasa, Mufasa.
That's the 5.
That's right.
Starting 5.
Starting 5. I'll put Lion King at power forward because... It's a powerful movie. Sound of Music.
Sound of Music, the shooting guard.
Because those hills are alive. She can shoot it from deep.
Shoot or shoot.
Sorry, I was late on that one.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
You bet. And May 6, 1940, John Steinbeck wins the Pulitzer for Grapes of Wrath. Steinbeck fan?
What else has he written? I had to read Grapes of Wrath. I'm trying to think.
There's the Pearl, Tortilla Flat.
Pearl, that was the one.
That's a very popular one.
Yeah.
Tortilla Flat was one of my favorite books ever.
Top books.
It's gonna be May.
Yeah, I mean, from what I can remember, it was okay. It was, he's no Tom Clancy, but I was a big fan of who was the guy from Hemingway too.
Oh, yeah.
I had his short stories that I would read. I think I still have that book somewhere right here. Yeah, he's got a bunch of short stories that are incredible.
I like
They're
Hemingway.
Very up and down, and usually end up with somebody getting like stabbed to death, but they're generally pretty interesting and like based in Cuba, so it makes you kind of feel like you're there.
Yeah, Hemingway. What was the one?
Old Man in the Sea.
I read Old Man in the Sea. It's either For Whom the Bell Tolls or what's the other one? A Farewell to Arms. I read, and
shout out Old Man in the 3.
Oh, yeah, A Farewell to Arms was one of the best books, in my opinion. It was tragic and sad and so good. Steinbeck, he wrote the one I was thinking of was East of Eden, along with the other one I was thinking of was Of Mice and Men. Those are the real popular ones. Along with
Read that one for sure. And watched the movie. Lenny, what are you doing, bro?
May. Oh, were you? And then the final episode of Friends aired on in 2004. Did you like Friends?
So Friends, my older siblings, they binge watched Friends, and so I wasn't huge on it. I don't think I understood all the stuff at the time. But I do remember that last season because there was like a big deal that they were getting paid $1 million an episode.
Oh, yeah.
And at that time, you're like, holy crap. Like, that's insane.
A milli?
But, I'll watch it. It's nostalgic. And it always kind of, the characters are amazing. Like, it's classic. It's a good show. What about you? Were you big on it?
No, I think my older siblings didn't like it. So they were haters on it, so I'm a hater on it. I've actually never seen but a couple episodes.
I had a feeling that's what you were going to say.
You could tell. You can see like he hates Friends. I can just see it in his eyes. He hates it.
It was given the same vibes from, what was it? What did we talk about a few weeks ago? And Titanic.
Oh.
And you were like, never
Too
seen
popular.
it. I was like, I kind of had a feeling.
It's too popular. My family poo-poos it, and they're like,
we're an indie family.
Yeah, it's too mainstream.
We only watch independent films.
And 24, big 24. And then finally, on May 8th, today, American movie goers get their first view of James Bond in Dr. No.
James Bond. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, James Bond, love it.
Love that one. What's your favorite one?
GoldenEye.
Let's go. That's the one.
Yeah.
Freaking Sean Bean, Pierce Brosnan.
Gotta be the best. I will say this, though. The greatest intro to any movie I've probably ever seen may have been Skyfall.
Oh, yeah.
With the Adele song. And, like, I was watching that in theater, like, you know, it's got all that
kaleidoscope stuff.
Picture, like, black ink in my mind for some. But, yeah, I remember watching that, and I was like, dude, when the intro was over, I was like, that was dope. I think I went and watched it with my brother. We were like, bro, that was sick.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's call it right there. It'll be fine.
Let's dip. We still got 2.5 hours.
Oh, God, these movies are so long. I got stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, would you take a girl to the movie?
Oh, yeah, of course. Nice.
How's that for a transition?
You transitioned into my dating life?
Let's do it.
So I had a buddy of mine, a fan of our show.
Would you say he's just a friend?
If you've made it this far, you're a real fan. He called me and he was like, hey, you should get on there and talk about your dating life. And I was like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And then finally I got the balls to. So
this segment called Casey Gets a Girl.
This all started. Oh my gosh. This started 2 weeks ago when we were in the pre-show. And I was like, hey, bro, I need some companionship. I want it back in my life. And so I was like, well, what am I going to do about it? Because I've kind of been dating on and off, friends of friends kind of deal. I went with one of the apps. I won't say which one. And I've been racking up some ladies, and I got a date this weekend.
Let's go.
So looking forward to it.
Ladies. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to say it the best way possible.
Phrase it possible. I've made some connections.
I've met some beautiful ladies on there. It's fun. I feel like I'm back on the horse. And yeah, gonna go do a little date this weekend. So looking forward to it. And if you have any encouragement for me, or if you have good date ideas, I can't remember all of them. I played a lot of putt-putt.
A lot of putt-putt? Because you're working on the short game.
Yeah.
Don't take her to Topgolf. So it was my first date with my wife. I took her bowling. I brought both bowling balls, my strike ball and my spare ball. But she to this day was like, you weren't good enough to have two of them. And I was like, well, I picked up a lot of spares and I beat you every game. So, there's that.
Did you put the bumpers up?
No, she was pretty good.
Yeah. I could see her being a beast at bowling. I
will say, first date, I did the first test pretty early on because it was, what time did I get? We met at 7 and she showed up about 7:15. And I was like, hey, so unlimited bowling starts at 8 for like $10 per person. But if we bowl now, it's like $10 a person a game. Would you like to go get dinner across the street? Let's leave this place, go to a different place, and then come back at 8 for unlimited bowl. She's like, yeah, sure, no problem. I was like, oh, thank God. I'm pretty frugal. I'm borderline cheap, you know? Like, you kind of got to be yourself.
Frugal then, too.
Yeah. And it's like, you got to be yourself. You got to relax. You got to be like, bring 2 bowling balls, wear the shirt you're going to wear. Dress like, be the best version of yourself, but don't be someone else.
Correct. Have fun with it. That's where, in the past, I think I'd get like freaked. I'd overthink my shirt. You'd be like, I don't know about this shirt. It's whatever. But you feel like a kid again. That's one thing about like dating, though, is when it comes back into your life, you're like, man, that feeling never gets old. Yeah. Or like, it's the same feeling you have when you're like 16, 17, even when you're older.
It's the butterflies.
Yeah, you got the butterflies. You're kind of excited. you're a little nervous, but
don't say anything too crazy with your jokes.
yeah.
We'll have beautiful children. Crap. But yeah, where are you? So putt. Top Golf's probably another good one.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to give you all my plans for this weekend. I don't want anyone to come find me. But
trying to think of some ideas.
Yeah, other good ideas. I mean, one of the ladies is up for going to the driving range.
Okay.
So we'll probably do a driving range.
It might be a keeper.
Some of my favorite dates.
Really correct her swing a lot. Be like, you really ought to tighten your grip there. Yeah, that's a strong grip.
Good. That looks
slicing. Have you tried really putting your left leg back a little bit? Just be like,
watch me hit this driver down first baseline. I'm going to point at third base, but I'm going to hit to first. It's a trick I'll do. Now, I think my favorite dates have been like, hey, let's go grab coffee and go on a walk.
Yeah, those are the sweet ones.
I did take a girl on a date one time in Dallas. I was telling somebody about this last week, where we went out to White Rock Lake, and it was like we went and got breakfast, and then we were going to go on a walk, and it was a little bit drizzly. And I was like, hey, like it's not raining, but it's kind of like, sprinkling outside. I was like, you still good to go on a walk? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. It started it progressively got heavier. And by the time we got back into the car, I remember just looking at both of us, and we were just it looked like we had been walked through a shower. I felt so bad. But she was up for a second date. So,
that was the first date. Wow.
Yeah, that was the first date. So.
That's good. You had an adventure. You had a story to tell.
Yeah. And neither one of us addressed it. I was just kind of like, oh man, it was raining harder than I thought.
Sure is raining out there.
We just let it ride. But
that's good.
Yeah, man. So we'll stay keep you up to in loop, and we'll see when things get going crazy. You know how it is. With me.
Well, it's good to put yourself out there. You ever text the lady back about getting back from the beach?
I haven't texted her back, man. Should I do it or not?
Do it right now on the pod.
Tell that story real quick. Just
one of our mutual friends texts Casey, seeing like if she'd be interested in reaching out, giving her cousin's number to Case Mac. And Casey goes, "Yeah, I got a lot going on, but I head to the beach. Let me hit you up when I get back." And that was over a year ago. And so I've been meaning to say, hey, just tell her you just got back to the beach. Long story, but is your cousin still single?
Here we go. This was on golly. This was on May 31st, 2023. Hey, Ben told me I need to text you back.
No. Be like Cole. Just be like, hey, just got back from the beach. Crazy trip.
I'm gonna do it. He just got back.
Long story.
Crazy trip. Done. Boom. Did it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Hey, we'll line it up though. I mean, I don't know if that girl's still single or not, but
we'll see. Ain't nothing. Shoot or shoot, man. Kobe missed a lot of shots.
Golly, that's hilarious. I want to see if it gets read on air. You got your 8:30 meeting?
I do. I have to jet out of here in 2 minutes ago. But episode,
I think we're probably good.
19 in the books.
19 in the books.
Peace out.
See you, bro.